Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of Doodle Empire Alternate History. And the map is looking something like this. Pretty filled out, if I do say so myself. Last episode we saw the fall of many European empires as like Poland got crushed. We mainly saw the rise of Asia, really, in Africa. We saw the Sinai Empire, the Iraqi Empire, and the Wu Dynasty all come as like the superpower, like super, not superpowers, but like become the new powers of the world, with also California still being the leading country, conquering Central America on the very last turn. We're still in the age of conflict, and we're going to go over to Morocco, which annoyingly is going to fight back against the Portuguese and take back their capital, focusing on taking land back down here in the south with the stupid war that I want to be over. Iceland declares that it's apparently a new culture, but nobody cares about Iceland. But we do care about Japan, which is going to large expand as we see Japan launch its invasion of Korea, taking over the south and launching its invasion into Korean Manchuria, taking a good portion of Korean Manchuria away from, well, Korea, as the Japanese Empire is looking pretty strong. Going over to Finland, we see Finland medium expand as we see Finland continue its conquests into the Hall, while also taking back Riga from Poland, continuing its power. Going over to Greenland, we see Greenland small expand as we see Greenland fight off Iceland up in here, and to Brunei, we see them large expand, and we see Brunei continue its conquests eastward into the collapsing Papua Empire, which is slowly losing multiple wars, as we see Brunei go ahead and take over their Australian claim down here, and also takes over all of Western Papua and all of their islands up here, as you also see the Brunei Empire go ahead and take over the island of Java from Sumatra, as they also go ahead and continue their invasions into Papua, which has now been drained of, well, its empire, and it's now just the Papua state. And now we have the Brunei Empire as the new regional power, which has surpassed the Sumatra Empire and is only like weaker than the Wu Dynasty, which could conquer all of Southeast Asia. But we'll see. And we see Morocco continue to fight off the Portuguese as they go ahead and take back Rabat, and they also go ahead and annoyingly take back Algeria, as they actually kick Portugal off the continent and begin their invasion into Portugal, taking over America. And just like that, Morocco has gone ahead and basically just crippled Portugal, which still has colonies for some reason. Going over to Rome, we see Rome get a large expand, as we see Rome defeat Sinai. We also see them go ahead and defeat Austria decisively, as well as defeat the French slightly, but mainly focus on defeating Austria, in which they quickly take over all of Austrian territories, incorporating them in there. We'll see them defeat the French, taking over Marseille and some of the Alps, as Rome is back slightly. Next we go over to the French Empire, which small expands, which quickly removes any advances that the Romans made against the French. We're going over to Germany. We see Germany large expand, as we see Germany deal with these pesky traitors that decided to rebel from them, as he also kicked Sweden out of basically mainly continental Europe, and most of them go ahead and take Vienna from the Romans as they continue their advance westward against the French. We also see the Germans attack eastward, taking over Riga and threatening Warsaw, as the French Empire is on a downturn, as well as the Poles, which are now landlocked. Going over to Portugal, we see the medium expand as we see them kick off this thing and go ahead and take back Algeria, I guess, whatever, wow. They go over to Yemen, we see them small expand as we see them take back their capital and, try and fight off the Sinai Empire. Going into Nepal, we see them large expand as we see Nepal continue its invasion into the Delhi Dash, which they actually go ahead and manage to take over all of the southern Delhi land, as the Nepal Empire is now a very dominant power in the region. Going over to Ecuador, we see them found their religion as we go to Ecuadorism, which is going to be randomly a red religion, but there we go. Then going over to the Karachi Sultanate, let's say, we see them medium expand, but we don't for some reason because it doesn't work. Then going over to Rome, we see Rome have a small split as we go ahead and see that Libya decides to declare itself independent from Rome, and yeah, there we go. Wow, Libya, which for some reason is mainly Tunisia. But anyway, we go over to the Delhi Desh, which we do see makes some gains against the Bangladesh, no, the Nepalese. But going over to Lime Country, we see them get a large expand as they invade down in to the Red Country and the Blue Country simultaneously, trying to become, the next major power of America, which they're doing quite well. We go over to Rome, we see Rome get a large expand as they quickly defeat the traitorous Libyans that rebelled from them, and they also push into France yet again, hopefully this time for the last time, as they also take Vienna and also take Munich from the German Empire. Next we go over to the Wu Dynasty, which becomes its own origin, which is pretty cool to see, as it's no longer part of whatever it was called, the old one, Min, whatever. We go ahead and see that Germany has a small split, as we see up here that we see randomly the Teutonic Order declares its independence up here, as it won't get all the land, but anyway, we now have the Teutonic Order. That's pretty cool. We see the Caucasus Horde go ahead and defeat what's it called? We see the Caucasus Horde defeat Crimea. They take an advantage of a weak Greece and take Bucharest and Chisinau, and we also see them go ahead into Poland and take Vilnius as they threaten Eastern Europe yet again. Next we go over to the Swedish Empire, which founds its own religion, not Kievism, as we see the creation of Calmarism. I know Sweden is tracking those old old roots, and we see Sweden create Calmarism. We're going over to Hispaniola. We see them have to adopt religion. As what are they right now? They're Muslim, but we actually see them go under Portuguesism, which needs a better color, and I can't get it to get another color, which is annoying. But anyway, next country. Oh, okay, we're going to the Delhi Desh because I accidentally clicked it twice, and we go ahead and see that they're going to adopt a religion. They're keeping their same religion. I'm not getting rid of Bangladeshism. That's so funny. We go over to the Hispaniolan Empire, which triggers the ages of conflict, and this means we go over to Sri Lanka, and it gets a pretty large expand. As we go ahead and see Sri Lanka sets its sight on its old territory as it launches its invasion into Sumatra, taking back this land from Sumatra up here. And we also see it also launch an invasion into Ethiopia, taking over Mogadishu as it continues its expansion into Africa, forming this very nice Indian Ocean land. We also see it eventually end up in Australia as the Sri Lankan Empire is becoming a very powerful economy. Look at that. It controls the Indian Ocean. Pretty cool. We see Tibet go ahead and get a large expand, as we see Tibet launch its invasion into Nepal, taking out a significant portion of Nepalese land, especially over here in Myanmar. We see the Hispaniolan Empire unite, and we're going to see them maybe not unite with anyone, to be honest. Yeah, not really. I was going to say I could unite them with the other one over here, so it's the same country, but that doesn't matter because they will still have the weird pixels in Ireland. But anyway, going over to Germany, we see Germany get a small expand as they invade the Teutonic. No, we don't, apparently, because it doesn't want to work. We're going into the Karachi Sultan. We finally get them to do something, as they basically expand into the unclaimed pixels, but also take some land from the Delhi Desh, which is slowly but surely collapsing. Going into the Iraqi Empire, we see them adopt a religion. I'm pretty sure they are one already. Okay, the Iraqi Empire goes ahead and adopts Sinaiism, not this disgusting Hordism, as Sinaiism now spreads across most of the Middle East. Going over to Wu, what we can see Wu do? We see Wu adopt a religion, as we see Wu, what would Wu adopt? They adopt Deshism. We see Du adopt Bangladeshism, short for Deshism, as this is now the predominant religion over here, which is actually pretty cool to see. And with this change, we see the Wu Dynasty become the Wu Desh, one of the major powers in this world. And speaking of the Han Dynasty, what? We see a revolt stage in Beijing lead to the lead to the like rebuilding of the Han Dynasty, as the Han Dynasty appears in the north. These people do not agree. They don't want to be part of the bang of whatever. They want to be part of the Deshism, so they rebel. Boo! We see the Caucasus Horde continue its advances, that they take Belgrade and Budapest from the Europeans, as the Caucasus Horde is still a serious threat. Going over to Greenland, we see them fight off the Icelandic, but nobody really cares. They go blah blah blah. Look, look, look. Going over to the Delhi Desh, we see them fight back off against the Nepalese and the Karachi Desh. Is that what I called it? No, it's the Karachi Sultanate, isn't it? It's their not Deshism. But if we go ahead and look at the faith mode, though, not the faith mode, not the origin mode. Look at that, we're actually starting to get some religions that make sense. I mean, this is all this is all Muslim. No, that's Californianism. There's 3 green religions. It looks like this is all one, but it's not. But over here, we got Sinaiism. Here, we got Hordism, Greekism, that's what it's called. Then we have Bangladeshism and Sumtraism and Papuism. Anyway, moving on, we still got 60 turns to go. Go over to the Han Dynasty, we see them large expand as we see the Han Rebellion go ahead and be like a pain in the side of the Han Dynasty. No, you see the Han Dynasty be a pain in the side of the Wu Desh, which is now crumbling after it switched to a new religion, which isn't very good. We see the Teutonic Order medium expand as we see them take over this land and invade into Poland, taking over Vilnius from the Horde, carving themselves out a mini like knight land. See them push further into Poland, and there we go. We now have this random Teutonic Order. Over to Tibet, we see the medium expand as we see Tibet continue to fight off the pull as they actually manage to get their own coastline. But they also push up and expand up into the steppes of Asia. We go over to the Iraqi Empire, who gets a large expand, and we see the Iraqi Empire launch its invasion into Yemen and quickly take over, a huge portion of Arabia and Yemen. Next, we go over to Finland, which unites with the country, as we see Finland go ahead and completely invade and incorporate the Teutonic Knights in their country, as the Finnish Empire is now like bigger than it's ever been. And I know that's a union, but it's not. In my roleplay, we say that the Finnish defeated them, and they just incorporated the whole country. So it's not a union, it's an invasion, but whatever. We see that the Lime country is going to adopt a religion. Are they not already a religion? They're not. We see that the Lime team adopts Californianism, as these are still native countries. I don't know if the Europeans will ever conquer the Americas. They might, if they stop fighting. Oh, Hispaniola got a large expand, but I'm not making it because it's not a real country. But we go over to Para, which wants a union again. Like, I would make it unite with the Irish, but then they'd not be the Irish Empire, so I'm not doing that, so I'm making them unite with themselves. Next, we go over to the Californians, which medium expand, as we see Californian continue its offensive into Florida, crippling the Floridians further and further, taking over most of their land, threatening Florida. Let's go over to Portugal, which gets a medium expand, which actually I'm going to make the Portugals invade into Hispaniola, taking over this land, as well as Venezuela down here, as I've given up with Morocco. Next, we see Tibet get a new leader, and we see Sinai medium expand, as we see Sinai take over the capital of Yemen and continue their assault as they threaten Constantinople, and they also take Tripoli from the Romans. But what if it's a large expand? Then Greece is gone. We go over to Tibet, which splits, as we see the creation of Myanmar, which sees how like disconnected this area of land is from Tibet. So yeah. And there we go. Myanmar has now has now existed. But we go ahead and see Tibet get a small expand, but instead they're just peaceful. I want to see what the new leader is, to be honest. The new leader is a flatlander. Oh, okay. You might see Tibet invade into like the Delhi or the the Karachi Sultanate, or even into I mean, Tibet. Actually, no, what I'm going to call it is copper name. We have to Tibet Desh. There we go. Tibet is now a Desh. All the empires have to be Deshes now. That's a rule. We see the Portuguese Empire small expand as we see them continue to expand their claims in South America. We go over to Japan, which gets a small expand as Japan actually continues its invasion of the Korean Desh as the Korean Desh calls for help from, anyone. We go ahead and see the Sinai Empire medium expand as on this sad day we see the sad fall of Constantinople as the remaining Balkan territories fall under the hand of the Sinai Empire, leaving only mainland Greece left. As we also see Sinai defeat the Horde, taking over Belgrade and on the walls of Bucharest. And there we go. The Greeks are basically almost done, and the Sinai Empire is now in Europe proper. But going over to the Wudesh, we see the Wudesh split. Oh my goodness. You go ahead and see that Thailand rebels from the Wudesh, but it's not just Thailand. Thailand also takes with it basically all of Vietnam as well, as we see that this is their border, as Thailand has rebelled from the Wudesh, as the Wudesh is slowly losing its power. Speaking of the Wudesh, we see them split again. Oh my goodness. I don't know I wonder if a small split probably wouldn't be all the Philippines, but we can try. We go ahead and see the Philippines return once I look up their name because I don't know how to spell the Philippines. We go ahead and see the return of the Philippines, like I said earlier. I don't know what color. I'll do a dark red. Yeah, like I said, we go ahead and see the return of the Philippines, which looks something like this. And there we go. The Wudesh is now just in China and Taiwan, I guess. But speaking of the Tibet Desh, we see the Tibet Desh launch its invasion into the Han Dynasty in order to aid the Wudesh, as they want to get rid of this. They want to. I mean, they're not really allies, but they're Deshes. We gotta back up for ourselves. We see Yemen's small expand as they somehow manage to take back their capital and launch an invasion into Sinai. And we go ahead and see Rome large expand as we see Rome go ahead and finally conquer Greece, as Greece is now under Roman control for the first time since episode 1 probably. And we also see the Romans inflict a defeat over here in the Balkans against Sinai as they take both Sofia and Belgrade as well as Tripoli down in Africa, as we also see Rome go ahead and consolidate its borders up in Europe, as Rome is now right to power in the European continent. And going up to Germany, we see Germany medium expand as they go ahead and invade the brand new Teutonic Order and Poland, as it's not long before Poland is completely destroyed. Going up to Tibet Desh, we see we go ahead and see the Tibet Desh, which reunites with Myanmar for some reason, don't know why. But anyway, going into the Korean Desh, we see the medium expand. The Korean Desh pushes back the Japanese up here. There we go. And next we go over to the Land Country, which smalls expand as they continue their invasion and conquering of both the blue and the red countries up in the north. But their capital being St. John's, no it's not, it's down here. What is that? Their capital is New York in real life. Not real life, in alternate civilization, in Wixia. We're going over to Papua, we see the medium expand as we see them fight back against the Nepalese, pushing them almost off their island. And we go over to Portugal, which activates the Asian conflict for the last 30 turns, which is basically what's left. And we see Poland large expand as we see Poland invade all their allies, taking back a huge portion of their land, showing everyone that they're not done and they beat the Horde. And I need to get rid of these rogue German pixels down here. As we see Poland invade out of here, and they also launch an invasion east as they defeat basically everyone around them. And they also go ahead and manage to take the lead. No, they don't. They manage to make border gore with the Horde as Poland has come out of nowhere. But Dedi Desh is now splitting. I don't know any Indian province names, so the Dedi Desh is not splitting. Anyway, going over to Florida, we see Florida large expand. We see Florida decisively defeat and repel the Californian invasions, for now at least, as California is pushed back to around Louisiana. As we will see that the Floridians go ahead and take Havana away from Californians. Going over to the Philippines, we see the medium expand as we see the Philippines actually invade the Wu Dynasty and take over Taiwan, as well as this island down here. And they also go ahead and begin their invasion of Brunei, in which they are successful in taking over a good portion down here. And they are now a threat to the Brunei Empire as they continue to defeat the Brunei Empire in battle. And we see the beginning of a mini Filipino empire. And the Wu Dynasty is splitting again. This cannot be happening right now. We go ahead and see the Song Dynasty here in the south of the Wu Dynasty. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than they appear in the south of the Wu Dynasty, looking something like that, all of those broke pixels. And their capital is going to go ahead and be in Shenzhen, however you say that. Oh my god, what did I just do? Is that what that is? No, that's not what that is, it's annoying me. Yeah, they go ahead and place their capital in the city called Shenzhen, or something like that. There we go. We're also going to add Taipei as a city, because why not? There we go. Taipei. Yeah, and next, we move over to Ecuador, which medium expand, as we see Ecuador continue its expansion, mainly into the Amazon. But they also go ahead and delete this random border gore up here. They continue, expanding their territory quite nicely. Go over to the blue country, we see them fight back against the lime country, pushing them back significantly. However, the lime country is still winning this two-front war. Go over to the Han Dynasty, we see the medium expand as they push back the Tibet people, but they also continue their invasion into the Wu Dynasty, trying to become the true China. Libya exists for some reason, and they've just declared their own origin. Oh, nobody cares. Anyway, going over to this country, which doesn't matter. Going over to the blue country, we see them small expand as they continue to fight off the lime country over here. And then next, we go to the real Hispaniolan Empire, which exists as they choose to adopt the same religion they've had. Oh wait, no, they choose to adopt Californianism. Wait, what? Okay, I gave them a new religion, apparently, whatever. It looks the same to everyone. Okay. Anyway, go over to Rome. We see Rome large expand, as we see Rome decisively take back Constantinople, which, by the way, I don't know if this was ever owned by this world's Rome. As we see, the Sinai country is beaten up in Turkey, and they even lose Cyprus over to Rome, as Rome is not messing around. Next, we go over to Germany, which large expands, which Germany launches eastward invasion into Poland, taking over basically most of Poland, and Poland actually turns into Lithuania. There we go. We now have Lithuania over in the east, as the German Empire is getting pretty strong. Next, we go over to the Han Dynasty, which medium expand, as we then fight off Tibet and continue to push over against the Wu Dynasty. No, the Wu Dash, which has been absolutely crushed. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, I do wish that the Euro map was slightly bigger. I know that's a very Eurocentric view, and I apologize, but historically, a lot of history is focused on Europe just because that's how it was written. So I like to be able to make your more European drama. But when a small expand wipes 4 countries off the map, it's like, oh. This Tibet country is bigger than all of Europe combined. But imagine if Europe was combined, that'd be crazy. Anyway, Florida is going to adopt a religion as they actually turn to Californianism. Californianism is now the dominant religion in America. Going over to Florida, we see them large expand, but no, I didn't cock it up. We see Florida large expand as they turn the war on California, launching an invasion into the Yucatan and in Central America as they split California into 2, making a huge comeback. Then we go to the Caucasus Horde, which Smalls expand as we see the Caucasus Horde manage to take back Budapest and Belgrade from the Roman Empire. Going over to Rome, we see them select a new leader. And then we go over to the Blue Country, which continues to push against the Lime Country over here, defeating them. We also go to the Sinai Empire, which manages to fight back against Rome, taking back Ankara and threatening to take back Constantinople. We go over to the Sumatran Empire, which largely expands as they kick off whatever these things are, and you also go ahead and invade Thailand, taking over Thailand and basically forcing Thailand to exist up here as they rename into Vietnam because they're not Thailand anymore. Anyway, going over to the why did I use a town on this stupid country? I want it gone. Okay, going over to Ethiopia, we see them large expand. We see them again beat back the Sri Lankans and push up into Yemen, trying to kick them off the Horn. You also go over to Ecuador, which continues to basically just expand without literally anyone worrying. Next we go over to Vietnam, which selects a new leader, and then we go over to the Sri Lankan Empire, which Smalls expand, so they go ahead and take back this city from Ethiopia, as well as they also slightly invade Nepal up here, taking some land on the Indian subcontinent. Move over to Para, which largely expand as we continue to see this basically Irish colonial state just kind of fill in the gaps, as they are flatlanders and they like land. So I'm just going to give them as much land as they are, because they're uniters and flatlanders. So that's probably why they wanted to unite so much. Speaking of Para, we see them large expand again as we continue to just see them basically just fill in the Irish gaps as it's just Para apparently. As we're also going to see this country put darker. I don't like that. I think I'm going to make them. I'm going to make them like a purple. There we go. Ecuador is now a purple, and this country is huge. Next, we go over to the German Empire, which is going to get a new nation. Then the last age of conflict, we'll see Sumatra split, which is kind of funny, as we go ahead and see southern Vietnam declare itself a brand new country, which actually southern Vietnam would just be all of this. Oh, for God's sake. Next we go over to Lithuania, which is going to get a split, but they can't because it's so small already. Then we're going to go over to the German Empire, which is going to medium expand, and they're just going to go ahead and wipe this land off the map and launch an invasion into Finland, which will go quite successfully as they head to try and take Moscow. Which isn't really that much importance in this world, because Russia never happened for some reason, but whatever. We go over to Yemen, which gets a large expand, as Yemen is fighting a war on 3 fronts and actually manages to take Muscat and Dubai back from the Iraqi Empire. Then going over to Papua, we see them large expand, as you see them fight off the Philippines and Brunei as they end up getting their stuff together and relaunching their invasions. Next we go over to the Sri Lankan Empire, which gets a large expand, as you see them take over all of the Ethiopian coast. And we also see them launch an invasion into Sumatra, taking the capital and also taking Kuala Lumpur, and Sumatra is kind of dead. And we basically see that almost all of Sumatra is taken over by the Sri Lankan Empire, which is probably one of the world's leading economy. And to end this, we're going to get a media sound from the Latin country, which I'm just going to make them take over Detroit, as they mainly focus on eliminating the Red Country, in which they do a pretty good job, as the Red Country is almost gone. And there we go. That is it for this episode. What is it? Episode 7? Episode 6? As we have seen the... I don't really know. Okay, let's do a power rankings. First... is it California anymore? Okay, well, I know who's not second. Yeah, that's... I think that definitely there's some new European powers. I think first, probably still California. It's still just, strong. Second, I'd probably give that to Rome. Rome came out here, conquered the core Greek land, conquered core French land, conquered Tunisia, Tripoli, all of, basically, central Mediterranean. So I'd probably give that a second. Third, probably Germany. Fourth, probably goes to Sinai. Fifth, Iraq, maybe, or Tibet. Tibet is I know it's not much good land, but like, no, let Tibet live, okay? Tibet's like cool, but or you could well as argue that actually Fifth would probably be the Lime Country, or the Lime Country might dominate the European powers. Who knows? Who knows? But that is going to be it for this one, and I really want to record more. I'm just going to keep recording. I'm going to keep recording until I get tired of it. Yeah, that is going to be it for episode, I don't know, whatever the episode is. I've recorded so many. Okay, that's going to be save 6, 7, 7. That is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.